Peace and welcome. It's a beautiful Friday. I have no idea what the temperature is. Maybe it's in its 40s, or we're going to be in the high of the 40s today. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to give everyone a chance, whoever's on, to go ahead and grab their favorite drink, cup of coffee, cup of tea, cup of yerba mate. Here is the mug that I'm using today. Another beautiful handmade mug. Picked it up at the local thrift store. That was a couple years ago. But it reminds me of a bulb of garlic. So every time I drink out of it, I think of garlic. So last night I did some reading from Quantum Physics in Minutes. We ended up on the double slit experiment. And I'm going to continue on the, let's see, what are we going to do next? I think we'll probably just keep going in order. So I want to share a little bit from quantum physics, and then we're going to jump to Quan Yin. So welcome. I hope you enjoy this. I hope it inspires you both spiritually and scientifically to continue to appreciate the challenges and the weirdness and craziness and beautifulness that life is and has to offer. The Michelson-Morley experiment. This is from Quantum Physics in Minutes. Thomas Young's proof that light is a wave implied that the light-carrying medium, or ether, proposed by Huygens, see page 10, must be real too. Yet 19th century scientists struggled to detect it. In 1887, American physicist Albert Michelson and Edward Morley set out to settle the question using an ingenious and highly sensitive experiment. Theory held that the ether was stationary in space, so Earth's motion would result in the speed of light appearing faster in the direction of motion compared to a perpendicular direction. Michelson and Morley built a device called an interferometer to send beams of light from a single source along perpendicular paths before reflecting and recombining them. If the speed of light varied between the paths, then the returning waves would slip out of phase with one another, creating a pattern of interference fringes that shifted over time. But try as they may, Michelson and Morley found that the speed of light was the same in all directions. The ether did not exist, so how could light be a wave? And I'll just show you the image of their experiment. So there you go. There you go. Okay. So we got our quantum physics in minutes out of the way. And hold on, let's see. Next, let's see. So next I'm going to read from Quan Yin, Accessing the Power of the Divine Feminine by Daniela Schenker. And this is the Quan Yin that I ran across yesterday when I first opened the book, and I was going to share it, but then I accidentally closed the book. and could not remember what number or where she was again, but we will share this one, Regeneration. Quan Yin Regeneration. Waterfall Quan Yin. Quan Yin sits beside a waterfall, listening to the rushing torrent of water. In this form, she protects sentient beings from the dangers of fire. Water is one of the most important elements of life. This image does not represent its potential dangers. On the contrary, it might save our lives in the form of a waterfall. Water displays its refreshing, healing effects and activates its environment. As it moves along its natural path across rocks and through varied landscapes, it humidifies the air and calms us with its many sounds. The fire from which Quan Yin protects us is harmful. It represents emotions such as hatred, envy, anxiety. These may actually create acids similar to fire in our bodies. We may fall into a pit of fire. Waterfall Quan Yin fills this pit with healing water, helping us to regenerate and gain strength. How apropos that we have the water, the sounds of waves lapping at the shore playing in the background. I didn't plan that. I turned the music on first. Waterfall Quan Yin fills this pit with healing water, helping us to regenerate and gain strength. Suppose someone should conceive a wish to harm you. Should push you into a great pit of fire. Think on the power of that perceiver of sounds, and the pit of fire will change into a pond. The Lotus Sutra, chapter 25. Turn to Waterfall Quan Yin if you perceive a destructive fire within you or around you. Choose a meditation place that is near water and listen to the relaxing sounds. And the key word for today is regeneration. So take a good hard look at yourself this Friday, TGIF, and note places within yourself that you could possibly use some regeneration. Taking a nice hot bath with essential oils, some Epsom salts, can go a long way in regenerating you, mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so I'm going to pick out CHING for us today. I'll hold 1 second. Before we get there, let's do a Tao reading. So I open the book to Tao on the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, chapter 63. Wei Wu Wei. In here. I love to see pictures. So there you go. It's Wei Wu Wei. Act without acting. Serve without serving. Taste without tasting. Big, little, many, few. Repay hatred with day. Map difficult through easy. Approach great through narrow. The most difficult things in the world must be accomplished through the easiest. The greatest thing in the world must be accomplished through the smallest. Therefore, the sage never attempts great things and so accomplishes them. Quick promises mean little trust. Everything easy means great difficulty. Thus, for the sage, everything is difficult. And so, in the end, nothing is difficult. Reminds me a lot of our reading of the Heart Sutra yesterday evening. So check out that reading. It's just a short 5-minute video. Quick promises mean little trust. Do not be so quick to make promises. Hey, can I call you back in about 10 minutes? I gotta call you right back. Okay, all right, bye-bye. Sorry about that. That was a very good friend of mine, but I just wanted to let her know I'll give her a call back. Okay, so we're gonna pick out our I Ching for today. Number 17, Hexagram 17, Inspiring Followers. And we have a lake over thunder. So you have those emotions and ability to reflect. Whoops. Sorry about that. And thunder, which is like magnetic energy. So there we go. I'll put that right there. And we have hexagram number 17, lake over thunder, or the bagua. So let's quick read what the baguas are. The elements, lake, dwi. Remember yesterday we had lake over lake. A fertile womb, receptivity for further growth, nourishment, receiving pleasure, tranquility, devotion, joy, satisfaction, also stagnation, openness, intuition, vision, Wu Qing, metal is the element, Wu Qing. Direction is west. Season, yellow path, autumn equinox. Season, Lo Shu, 9 halls, cardinal winter. Life aspect, children, fertility, nurturing. Medically is related to the mouth, oral cavity, digestive and reproductive systems, chronic pain or disease, nutrition and sexuality. Chakra, third eye. Animal, sheep, or also the tiger. Archetype, the diviner. And the immortal is Zhongli Huan, patron of warriors, ceremonial magicians, and alchemists. And the lower gua, bagua, is thunder, Zhen. To shake or arouse, inciting movement, taking the initiative, excitation, revolution, division, and impetus, catalyst, stimulation, impulse. Wood, the Wu Jing, the wood, the element is wood, direction is east, yellow path, summer solstice, Lo Shu 9 halls, cardinal autumn, life aspects, family, and ancestry. Medically, it's related to the foot, legs, tendons, gallbladder, liver, sensory motor system, sympathetic nervous system, and physical pain. The chakra is the throat chakra. The animal is the dragon. So we have the diviner and the dragon. The archetype is the emperor. So we have, what was the other one? The other one was patron of warriors and ceremonial magicians and alchemists, and the emperor. The immortal, let's see, wait a minute, sorry. The archetype for this one is the emperor. The archetype is the diviner for the previous. And the animal is the sheep and a tiger. And now we have the dragon. And the immortal is Chao Zhou Zhu, patron of nobles and aristocracy. And I'm sure I mutilated that Chinese pronunciation. Okay, so hexagram number 17 as translated by Benevolence. To lead, first you must serve. A follower becomes the leader, and followers must come to you by their own volition. You cannot secure them by force or cunning. Force them and they will resist. Serve them and they will serve you. Reward loyalty with generosity. Trust in your own excellence. The leader acts with logic and detaches from emotion, but inspire your followers to act with emotion and detach from logic. Oh my goodness, that's really interesting. Inspire your followers to to act with emotion and detach from logic. Adapt to the circumstances. Change and perseverance bring you prosperity. Unlikely folk become your allies. Diversity is how you accomplish an object. That was really interesting in there, especially that a leader acts with logic and detaches from emotion. But inspire your followers to act with emotion and detach from logic. Oh my God, there is a lot packed into that sentence. And I hope this inspires you guys to really think about the implications of that, and especially in today's world. And as I was reading that, it really connects back to this Wei Wu, the Tao Te Ching, chapter 63, act without acting, serve without serving, taste without tasting. Very interesting, very interesting. And I'm going to end here, because I need to make this a short one, with Brian Brown Walker's interpretative translation of Sui, following. Do not argue with what is, simply follow the progress of truth. Wisdom teaches us that in order to obtain a following, the aid and agreement of others, we must first ourselves practice following. This is done by steadfastly observing what is correct and putting it into practice. In other words, we follow the sage. This hexagram comes to remind you to make it possible for others to be loyal and helpful to you by redevoting yourself to following inner truth. It is essential now to quietly accept the way things are. This does not necessarily mean that you endorse or celebrate current circumstances, just that you do not resist them. Acceptance is the most fundamental principle in the philosophy of the I Ching. To resist events is similar to resisting the turning of the earth. You only exhaust yourself in vain. To resolve a difficult situation, follow the good within yourself. Whatever correction is necessary is made possible in this way. The use of force or cunning will only breed resentment and misfortune. Peace blooms quickest where proper principles are given expression. Leading others is a delicate act, and our motto in this is always the sage. Proceed gently with balance, staying unattached to results and free of egotistical pretensions. Lead the people by following the sage, and a good result will always be had. And I wasn't going to share this, but the little nagging voice inside my head said, you have to. And this is the verbatim translation by Kersong Hong on the I Ching, the Oracle. And he translates Hexagram 17, Lake Over Thunder, as the chase, sign of great sacrifice, auspicious omen, no troubles. And as usual, we always interpret the hexagram from the bottom up. So he gives a translation for each of the 6 lines starting at the bottom. A house damaged, good omen, get out, and achieve. Holding the boy and losing the man. Holding the man and losing the boy. Give chase and get what you sought. Good omen for settling down. Falling into a trap during the chase, unfortunate omen. On the open road, punishments await to expose the guilty. A penalty drink at the banquet, good omen. Imprisoned first, then set free. The king makes offerings at West Mountain. And our last bit of inspiration will come from Spirit Keeper's Tarot. This is the 2nd edition of the Spirit Keeper's Tarot deck, a deck by Benevolence. I'm sure you've seen this deck before. Oops. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and take that card that just jumped out. The Chariot. Ooh. That's another good one right up there. Oh, here, let me show it to you, because you definitely can't see that. This is the Chariot. The Chariot. Unfortunately, I didn't set something up so you can see this card very easily while I read it. So go ahead and commit that to memory. Let's see if I can put it right back here. That's not gonna, oh, that's the best I can do. Okay, so the Chariot. Okay, oh, wow, opened right to it. That's, yeah, opened right to it. The Chariot, key 7, an armored knight adorned with an 8-pointed star on the helmet. Okay, I see the 8-pointed star at the very top of his helmet. The seal of prophets steers a canopied chariot pulled by 2 sphinxes, dark and light, representing the Urim and Thummim. One sphinx has eyes for seeing the light. The other has only an open mouth for speaking the truth. So for seeing the light and speaking the truth. The hind leg of the sphinx who speaks is crushing its own tail, symbolizing the self-inflicted pain of speaking your truth. Crescents on their headdresses are reminiscent of divination moon blocks. This is the primordial spirit and personification of free will. The Chariot is the spirit that helps you create change. You have attained a certain mastery of knowledge, and now you must determine how you will use that knowledge to create change in the world around you. The spirit of the Chariot is here, giving momentum to your knowledge and intuition so that the skills you have acquired can be used to drive you forward along your path. Key 7 appears to affirm that you have triumphed over your obstacles. The Charioteer reminds you that you are in control of yourself. When the Chariot card appears, you have arrived at a critical milestone and are in movement toward victory. Success will come to those who refuse to stop fighting. You are capable of making the extraordinary happen if you take control of what you have power over and release control what you do not. Let your faith be the chariot that drives you when you do not have the power to change your circumstances. Lux et veritas, light and truth. A translation of the Urim and Thummim. In the journey toward the Godhead, free will must be steered by light and truth. The Sphinx to the left, with eyes and no mouth, can see the light, but cannot speak the truth. The Sphinx to the right, with a mouth and no eyes, cannot see the light, but can speak the truth. Its hind leg crushes its own tail, symbolizing the self-inflicted pain that can sometimes come from daring to speak one's truths. In ancient mythos, the chariot was associated with the sun and therefore an emblem of solar deities such as Mithra, Apollo, or Cybele. The chariot is also symbolic of spiritual elevation. In antiquity, the charioteer represented control over one's passions, desires, and therefore symbolized the exercise of logic and divine reason. The canopy of the mind is held up by 4 pillars symbolic of the tetragrammaton, Yud-He, Vav-He, in the Proto-Canaanite alphabet, a shield bearing the cardinal zodiac signs Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, indicated by the ram, crab, balancing scales, and goat, respectively, conceals the knight's acquired treasures, the sacred relics. So there you go. And I could definitely see how this chariot matches up with the hexagram number 17. And that proceeding out of the Tao Te Ching, all grounded with the Quan Yin of regeneration. So regenerating yourself, tending to yourself, fortifying yourself, building yourself up, renewing and regenerating yourself, being willing to seek the light that's within you, and to speak your own truth. And if you dare have the desire and plan to have someone follow you or to be able to hear you, work from a place of rationale and reason and logic, setting emotions aside so that you can convey your truth and be heard. And by conveying your truth and being so that you are heard, invoking in others to connect with their emotions, which will allow them to hear you and perhaps be ready to join you at your chariot. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful beginning or ending of your day, depending on where you are. Have a beautiful day. I wish you peace and great bliss. This is Tamalingina, Priestess Heart. Until next time, keep going. Peace. Bye-bye.